Hey, hello, hello. Welcome. Welcome to day two of Ignite Your Feminine Genius, Your Feminine Genius Magnetism. So this is day two. So, as you're jumping on, it would be super awesome if you just say hello and where are you dialing in from, watching in from? Where are you in this beautiful world showing up on this class today? So, hi, Kelly. Is it Kathy? Hi, Kathy. So, welcome, welcome. Hi, Mary. Hi, Essence. So say hi where you are showing up from. I am in Phoenix, Arizona, in this beautiful city. Maybe some of you are in the same city as me. I think some of you are completely across the world, so I know it, or the country at least. So it's much later for you. So I absolutely appreciate that you're taking time to be here now. So hey, Mary, so if you come on, say hi, say where you're from. And yes, so this is day two of Ignite Your Feminine Genius Magnetism. So we went through quite a bit of pretty awesome content yesterday. And we're going to continue that today and the rest of the week. So today we are going to pick up where we left off. We're going to talk more about the feminine masculine traits and how they and we're in the right energy, how they will polarize and attract and be the magnetism, which is what we want to build a relationship, to attract a quality man, to be our best self in the relationship, and to make it sustainable. So we'll go a little bit more into that. So I guess I should say hi. Did I say hi? Hi, I'm Teresa Sahi, feminine genius and relationship dating coach for women. So I work with amazing women like you that are on a path to have their most epic love relationship ever. So yes, this is what you're going to do. So even if it feels like it's not going to happen, even if it's been a long time coming and you felt like you put yourself out there and you've been hurt, you've been a little bit walked on or ignored or rejected, it's okay. I promise you. I know it's extremely painful and we're going to stop that from happening to you again. I am on your side. So you're going to up level who you are. Not that you're not good enough, but you're going to continue to up level yourself because you absolutely deserve to have the relationship and the love that you deeply desire, even if it hasn't happened yet, even if you've been divorced, even if you haven't even met any quality men or you haven't dated for a very long time. Absolutely, I get it. I've been there too. And that is so why I am on this path here with you. So who's saying hi here? Okay, from New Jersey, Essence. From New York, Mary. Okay, got East Coasters from Petra is coming from the UK. Hey, hey, ladies. So if you jump on here anytime during this, it would be awesome to say hi and to let me know where you're coming from. And absolutely any questions that you might have along the way. Okay, so I wanted to pick up, like I said, where we left off yesterday. So I want to just say a little bit more about the feminine and masculine traits. So we did talk about those. And if you were here or watched the replay, then you did some of your own self-awareness. So I went through traits or characteristics, if you will, that how we show up, how we be on a daily basis, that everything is energy, right? So how we show up in ourselves and how we move through life, how we project things, how we respond to things, how we conduct ourselves is energy because we're all energy. And so there's energy when we're talking about relationships and we're talking about with the masculine. There's feminine, masculine energies, and males and females, we can have both at any given time. But for women, we want to be, if we're wanting to attract the relationship and have it, the juicy one and sustainable, we want to be in the feminine energy when we're meeting the man, attracting the man. Okay, so I went through, and so you might have your notes. So if you don't have your notebook, you might want to grab it because we're going to have some things to write down today too. So I talked about competition or being collaborative. We talked about being decisive or indecisive. Talked about impatient or patient, strong or weak or passive, those type of things. So remember, there is no right or wrong. So if you weren't here, you can definitely do the replay. I'm going to keep it in the group here until midnight tonight, so you'll have time after this. So look at that, and so do your personal self-assessment without any judgment, without just where am I showing up at, and just know that we need to have both. So let me just say this to you. So the feminine energy is more about being in the body. It's more emotional, right? And that's a good thing because we have the feelings, and that's where our intuitive guidance come from. That's exactly what our feminine genius is about, is to understand the feelings so that we're exuding the right feelings that's turning the man on, because he is more rational, more external being, and so he is kind of pushing and fighting his way through life and being in that headspace all the time. And so when a woman shows up in a different space, like showing up with feeling and enticing him to get out of his head and to be inspire him and to be fun loving and to be silly and feel that turns him on, because it gets exhausting being in the headspace. So you might know this if you're a businesswoman, all right? And as single women, of course, we have careers. We want to build our own businesses. We want to do amazing things out in the world as evolutionary women, as awakening women. But you might notice that there are times when you are going all day long, doing it all yourself, figuring it all out, go, figure it out in your head. And at the end of the day, you're extremely exhausted. Or after work, maybe you do have a date, or maybe you are going to a networking event and you're just, you want to get in that zone, like, oh, there might be some guys there, or I have a date, but it's just something is disconnecting because you're extremely exhausted. It is the thing that happens to women. That's why I really, really encourage you to pay attention to these traits that I gave you yesterday, and I'll give you a couple more. But when you're in the headspace, it's not a woman's natural place to be all the time. You can get stuff done, you can make things happen, but really her natural space that really lights her up, that really puts you in your genius zone, is when you are in your body, when you're allowing yourself to feel, when you're allowing yourself to be guided by your intuition, when you're allowing yourself more time to reflect and to play and to kind of soften the edges around yourself and not be the go, competitive, get it done, figure it out, do it myself. That kind of energy, that causes extreme exhaustion. It causes you to go in a downward spiral, and it's actually repelling to the masculine energy because it is the masculine energy. So you want to notice that. Honestly, when women, you can look out on the streets, it shows up in the way that we even walk. And I'm going to talk about this more on day 4, our body presence, but you can just see the energy of women kind of walking with a fast, forward-leaning stance to hurry up and get there, get it done. That's a key sign for you to pay attention to. The masculine energy is more leaning forward. It is more the head going forward because it's getting it done. It's strong, it's assertive, it's aggressive, right? It's that type. And the feminine, because it's more in the body, it's more, you're still powerful, but it's more of a leaning back. It's more of a walking, not with your head down, going forward, getting there, but with a more grace. It can be a power walk, but it's more grace, but it's more leaning back. You'll even see this in the dynamics of relationships. Or you can see people at dinner, how they're engaging with each other and how the woman is being. Is she the one sitting forward and asking all the questions, this type? Or is she a little bit more lean back and receiving him to take care of her? Okay, so pay attention to that. All right, so what's another trait that I wanted to share today? So I don't think I mentioned vulnerability yesterday. So I talk with a lot of women that are on the path to enrich their life with their quality man, even enrich the relationship they're in if something is kind of going awry. So they're seeking that, so they're seeking guidance. So, okay, so here I am. So we're talking about these, and we're talking about the traits. And I can't tell you how many times I hear women say, I can't be vulnerable. One woman said, that means that I'm weak. And I did discuss this a little bit yesterday. It doesn't mean you're weak. Being vulnerable is having the ability to open your heart. Yes, maybe there's times that walking down a dark alley with your little one, you feel that vulnerability, and so you gotta like, okay, I gotta be more cautious, and so cautious is kind of a masculine energy. Absolutely. So remember, always remember through this that we're talking about relationship attraction. We're talking about attracting a masculine man. So the opposite of that is the masculine energy, of course, and it is guarded. Remember, the masculine energy is to guard you, to protect you, to provide for you, to take care of you. So when you go on that date and you're guarded, you have the body language, you don't trust him because you've had bad relationships before, and and they haven't been trustworthy, and so it's put your guard up. I get it. This is why we have to talk about this. You do not deserve to have any more of those relationships. Absolutely. So you've got to start practicing how you can trust, how you can be vulnerable, how you can open your heart up, and how you can stop being in the masculine energy, because the more that you be there, the more you're going to keep wanting what's not there. Remember, everything is energy, and we are always self-generating, self-fulfilling prophecy of what we're doing on a daily basis. Okay, so I'm kind of driving that home. So I want you to really understand, and we'll keep talking about this. So, change doesn't happen overnight, and you're not doing anything wrong. We know better, we do better, and we get to continue to grow ourselves to be an awakened woman, to be a high level, high quality woman, because that's how what we want from him, right? We want him to treat us like a high quality woman. We want a high quality man that treats us well. So the way to get what we want is to understand what's not working, to quit putting ourselves out there in the wrong places with the wrong people by not knowing what we want, by continue to do things that haven't worked, and to dim our light, to think that we're not worthy, to think that I don't deserve this, and to show up a different way. So we're lighting up. Your feminine genius is coming alive. All right. So at the end of the call yesterday, I asked you to ask questions of yourself. Get quiet with yourself. The feminine needs to be in the body and quiet, and seek what it is she wants at a deeper level. Why do I want this? What has been working? What hasn't been working? And what can I work on to change that? What have I learned? So I hope you started to do that. We'll continue to unfold this. Remember, you're the rose, and you're blossoming more and more, so that you can attract that beautiful, I don't know, the gardener, that beautiful man into your life, so he can see all of your rose petals. He can feel the beautiful energy. It always feels good to be around a rose. Okay, so yeah, so let me just say this, a couple more things. So about the feminine, remember I said the leaning back, so that's the receiving energy. So yes, we know we have to learn. We always hear this, right? About let yourself receive a compliment, let yourself receive a gift, right? So practice the receiving. Think of it like this. Everything on our entire planet is either masculine or feminine. So the sun is a masculine energy, and the moon is the feminine energy. So the sun is like out in the day, feeding the light source, sun energy, so everything can grow. And the moon is the quiet energy, the quiet, the evening, get down and, be quiet and rejuvenate ourselves and nurture ourselves, right? That's the mother, right? And the father, son, right? So just think of everything like this. So follow the cycles of the entire universe. So receive what you need. So it starts with receiving it from yourself. And because the masculine is more of it's the giving, right? So provider, protect, that kind of thing. I'm just going to say something just a little blunt. So you can think of that in the sexual way too. It's the penetrating energy, right? It's the penetrating masculine. So I know, but it is what it is, and it is part of our human being existence, right? It's fantastic. So just these are examples of how to continue to understand to be a receiver. Okay, so because the feminine, and I said yesterday about the masculine was more the cautious and the more serious, and so the feminine needs to be the more adventurous, or bring that to the table, or the more playful. So it might be kind of hard to understand how to do that when you feel anything but playful right now, because you're a single woman doing it all yourself, and you're, paying the bills and taking care of the house, and if you've got kids and, the job and building a business or creating, I get it, right? So this is something this is why we practice, this is why we talk about it, this is why we continue to work on our genius that we already have inside of us, so that she can come alive. So I'm going to bring up the next topic that I want to go into, which is how to carry getting out of the headspace when we're in the masculine too much, so that we can be more in the feminine, so we can attract the man. How can we be more playful in our own life? How can we bring more of the pleasure? He is looking for a woman that she's already turned on to her life. She's already enjoying herself. He sees that it's not just his job to do everything. He wants to provide and protect her. But because he's in that energy all the time, he wants to be inspired by somebody that's playful and laughing and enjoying herself already. It's oxytocin. There's a hormone, oxytocin. And so when a woman is too far in the masculine energy, too far the doing all external all day long by herself, and doesn't give herself the space to slow down, she's in a cortisol overload. And that causes exhaustion, it causes stress, it causes drama, it causes anxiety, and that's anything but playful and fun and attractive. And so maybe you don't feel like going out on a date. Maybe you don't feel like flirting. Maybe you want to go and do these things and you want to meet him. Or maybe you've had him in your life, and because you've been so exhausted, you feel like you're just butting heads. This is part of it. So you want to increase your oxytocin in your body. You want to increase it. Now, let me just add a little, I'm not giving you hormone therapy or hormone necessarily, but I do want to say this. You can have your hormones checked, and all of the hormones, right? The estrogen, the progesterone, all of that. But cortisol is a big one that can be very damaging in a lot of ways. So you can even have saliva test done. I've done it. You don't have to go to the doctor. There's a place even here in Phoenix called Potter's Pharmacy, something like that. So you can do a saliva test, can check your cortisol levels. And so not just for this reason, but when you're in that too much of that hormone, you're in stress overload anyway, right? And we already know that stress causes a lot of damage in our body, let alone the law of attraction. Okay, so side note there. Well, anyway, so we want to increase the oxytocin. Sorry, it's just very hot in my room here. I think it's this light I have on. Okay, so increasing oxytocin is the happy, pleasurable, feel good, and it's very attractive to the masculine. let alone how good it will make you feel as a woman. So there's a reason why we need to hang out with other women, and we have the sisterhood. Now, I know there's two sides to this, and so I just want to paint the whole picture for you. Women need to love each other. Society has taught us to be competitive, which is masculine, but to put each other down, compare ourselves to each other, and find fault, when the truth of it is we super duper need each other. Yes, we want love, and we want relationship love, and we want the marriage and that type of love, but there's all kinds of love, right? And all the love is what, as human beings, we need different elements of. And the feminine energy, when we're really in it and we're hanging out with sisterhood, it raises the oxytocin hormone, because we can let our hair down, we can act silly, we can like do goofy things, we can understand. It's not for the man, our husband, our boyfriend, to fulfill every part of us. It's too much work for him. It's too hard for him. So allow yourselves to have the girlfriend and to hang out, do a monthly thing, and to just be in that feminine energy and to really show up in love with your sister, not in jealousy. So those are things to really pay attention to. It super raises the oxytocin. So maybe you work from home, maybe you don't have any girlfriends. I mean, you know, I work with a lot of women over 40, absolutely. And it seems like the older we get, the more we have the lifestyle requirement that we put less and less of the enjoyment. So it's time to change that up a little bit. Okay, and so also being in the pleasure, being in the happy, increasing our own oxytocin. Yes, so I want you to think of things that you can do to be serving and nurturing your body so that you can give to yourself. So here's the deal. Remember the self-generating, the self-fulfilling prophecy? If we want things in a relationship, you absolutely have to be that for yourself first. It's not a waiting game. It's not, let me wait someday and then expect that. Look at the marketing that's had happened around Valentine's Day. There is so much pressure, right, out there. So how can you enjoy your life right now, even if you don't have the man in it? How can you enjoy the things that maybe you don't enjoy so much right now? How can you bring pleasure into your day, a little happiness into your moment? Can you just turn on the music and dance? Can you, maybe like when you're mopping the floor? So what I'm trying to suggest to you is, it might sound like, oh, this sounds all cute and whatever. And I'm here to tell you that you are working to change inside of you so that you create more of the energy, more of the magnetism that attracts the opposite, because you want the opposite. You want him in your life. And when you start doing more for yourself, when you savor your food, when you cook for yourself, when you allow yourself to receive, you are embodying more of the feminine receiving energy. You are embodying more of the oxytocin, pleasure and joy, having a good time, feminine energy. These are energies that have, you know, I don't know, maybe didn't intend for them to go away, but they've went away because life gets taken over. And if we're not paying attention of what we're doing and who we are, then we're getting more and more disconnected. Okay? So how can you enjoy yourself more? And, you know, maybe it's just going and buying lingerie. Now, yeah, so okay, that sounds like I'm doing that just for the man, but the truth of it is, when is the last time you put on something really sexy and sensual and just allowed your body to feel good and feel sexy in it? When is the last time you looked in the mirror and just loved yourself up? When can you love, excuse me, how can you love yourself more? How can you love your body more? So we want these things from the relationship. It's kind of like having one foot on the gas and one foot on the brake. We want things, but we won't allow ourselves to receive things. We want things, but we won't allow ourselves to be seen. We want things, but we won't allow ourselves to do. So, let go of the foot on the brake and allow yourself to receive more and more. Give to yourself first. Practice that. Practice the energy. I mean, it's going to change you on every level. So enjoy your meal. How can you conjure up feelings of just feeling really good, enjoying yourself, doing something for yourself, treating yourself, buying the flowers for yourself, putting that energy. Flowers have very high vibrational love energy anyway. But, what if a guy comes to your house, a guy that you met, and he's going to come pick you up for your first date, but he didn't bring flowers? But, you open the front door and he saw flowers on your coffee table. And then he went, oh my gosh, I should have done that. She really likes flowers. They need messages too. They're getting mixed messages out there all the time. What a woman wants, what she doesn't want, the feminine power. Does that mean that I have not got a place for her in my life, or she doesn't want me in her life? And, because of all the sexual scandals that show up, absolutely, those need to show up and those need to change, right? But for the good guys, the guys that really aren't on that path, they're really on a path to love a woman up for and honor her. Maybe he doesn't know how to do that now. Maybe he's like, so it's all kinds of mixed messages. So this is just like a big opportunity in so many ways. So you allow yourself to receive, set the stage, bring in the energy, enjoy yourself now, and just let yourself love your life, love your being. Okay, I think I drove that home. You get the point? So does anybody have any ideas? Let me see if hi, gorgeous. Hi. Oh, hey, Keisha. Yes. Okay, so let me see here. I have to put on my glasses because I can't see. Somebody have a comment here. There are coaches out there that advise women to rotate men. I don't want to, not my style. I am loyal one guy at a time. Yes. What do you think about dating multiple men? I have a boyfriend now, but when I don't get my needs met, I don't want to rotate him like some coaches advise to do. Okay, so we're going to talk about that. Yeah, so that's a very good question. So thank you. So I don't know how to pronounce your name. Well, I guess you can't tell me, but is it Gree? Thanks for the question. So I think that's a personal preference. I was thinking about this earlier today. I know a lot of them say, so just have this funnel of men. So have this funnel of men, and so here's how I see that. And I think we're all different, right? And there's different stages of the relationship. So if you're just wanting to be in the dating stage, if you really don't know what you want in a relationship, if you haven't been out dating, you've recently been divorced and haven't been out there for a long time, maybe you don't really know. So you might need to definitely date a few guys, because sometimes we only know what we don't know, and what we only know what we don't want. And if we've come out of this relationship that was horrible, we know we don't want that, and that's our focus, and that's all we've got to experience for a long, long time. And then we've let ourselves, shut ourselves down and been single for a long, long time. We know we don't want that. We're guarded, all these things. We don't really know. So in those cases, I think it's good to go on a few dates and experience different people, because the more we get to experience life, the more we get to know, this is my thing, this is what I want, this is my experience. And we get to get our confidence kind of built back up too. But I personally think that the more, so you want to be in a committed relationship, you want that man, that quality man that cherishes you and loves you and is there for you, and that's what you're going for. Then I think in those cases, it's time to, because your energy is not focused on love. It's focused on how many men can I meet? How can I get? Who can I be? And it's kind of, that. And so I think it's a very next stage for a woman that's going through her awakening to see herself as extremely precious. And when you start to fulfill yourself and listen to yourself and know what you want and give yourself the attention that you need and give to your life and see yourself at this beautiful, precious temple, you don't need to go on every date with every man and have a continual funnel, because you're seeking the special relationship. You're seeking the special one. And so when you treat yourself honorably that way, I think it opens the energy to attract that more to you. That was my experience. So way back when, before I met my beloved, is in the other room fixing dinner right now. I went through, the divorce and all the drama and the singledom, and didn't want love, didn't want to, even look at a happy couple. Went through lots of stages, and I did date and date and date and date. And you know what? After a while, it was disgusting. It was, because I realized, like, what the hell? What am I doing? I need to love myself up. I don't need all these extra things to to just fill my space up, because filling my space up wasn't allowing me to get to know me. And I was kind of like holding myself back from really working on myself. So there's a lot that can be uncovered through that question and through each person's personal experience. And those are exactly the things, when I take a woman through the awakened love experience with me, that we go through that. Because that question is great, because it opens up, it's not just give me another tip or another trick and then we're all good and everything is hunky-dory, right, in our love life. It's a very big topic, it's a very deep topic, and we can unfold pieces at a time as we grow ourselves into the epic love. So thank you for asking that. Okay, so awesome. I hope that helped you a little bit. So let me check my time. Okay, we're doing good. So any other comments, any other questions, who's got some ideas of how to bring some more pleasure and joy into your day, your tomorrow? You can sing love songs to yourself. I used to do that, driving to work, turn the radio there. Remember I just said, I didn't want to look at a happy couple at one point. And then when I started learning how to love myself, to bring love to me, and to quit being angry, I would turn on the love songs that I used to turn off and started singing them to myself. Oh my God, talk about raising your vibe, right? Everything is energy, raise up your energy, right? It's pretty fun. Okay, so let's move into, I'm just looking at my notes. I have them in a couple different places. Let's move into appreciation. So perhaps every woman probably has heard at some point, just, a guy really digs being appreciated. Yes, he loves to do for us, but kind of we forget it sometimes, right? So let's remember this. But I'm going to take this to a different level for you. Appreciation is a very masculine turn on energy. When a woman just says, oh my God, thank you. I totally appreciate that you did that. I totally, thanks for taking out the trash. Thanks for that. It's really cool. But here's where I want to go with this topic. Have you ever been, I don't know, in a conversation, and maybe, I don't know, like in your business or at work, or let's don't take it into the relationship realm. Let's just like even with a friend or at work or something like that, and you were telling your part of this story, of the conversation, and you were, maybe you were feeling all good about it. You were feeling all positive, and it was like trying to share something good that happened or try to give an idea across. And as you're looking either at the other person or people, you could feel by the way that they were looking at you, or their body language, or, you know, the stance, the energy, that it kind of shut you down and you felt, oh my God, you wanted to hide. You didn't want you didn't want to share anymore. So it wasn't that you weren't really being appreciated for trying to share something that you felt was very good, very enlightening, very helpful, that energy. So have you ever felt that? So that's how I want you to just kind of step back. Maybe this is something that you take forward to your day tomorrow and practice this. So appreciation is not only something that we say thank you. That was really great. That was cool. Thank you for that. And give that. But it's also a way that we are broadcasting our energy onto another. So there is this exercise that I did in a class that I did one time. I was hosting this class and working with women, and we did this. So there was like, and too bad we can't do this here together. It would be really awesome, but we're in cyberspace. So each woman had a partner in the class. So there were so many women and they each had a partner. And the one half of the team, the duad, went out of the room. And the half that stayed there, so I kind of give them like, here's the deal we're going to do. So there are the other women are being told by my assistant that they are to come in there and tell this story. There's something really exciting that happened to them, and to brag about it a little bit and be all happy and, you know, that kind of thing. And the women that were in the room were to really like be engaged, like their body language, they're not to say anything, but to look at them and to smile and to really, you know, feel good, right? And then I'm going to make a sign like something like this, scratch my neck. And then when I do that, in the middle of their story, they're going to change their energy. It's going to be like, no more, you know, kind of ho-hum, change their energy so that the story is not very interesting. The story doesn't, who cares? It doesn't sound very exciting to change their energy. Okay, so you can just imagine that, right? And so my point here is saying we are always broadcasting to another how we appreciate them, how we honor them, how we feel about them. So that happens in relationships too, even if we don't mean to. Even if we do mean to, even if they go, I'm not going to say anything, but I'm not really interested. I'm really done with this. I'm sick of this. Or so what, you know, you just took out the freaking trash. So, you know, I'm just kind of exaggerating a little bit, but I want you to get this. This appreciation, and the masculine really gets turned on by this, goes beyond just the words thank you. So take this away with you tomorrow and just practice it. I mean, you don't have to practice it within the man zone. Practice it with your peers. Practice it with your friends. Pay attention to it when nobody knows you're paying attention to it, right? You're learning from this experience. Pay attention to how you're doing it to yourself, how you might be, you know, rolling your eyes at yourself. It's that self-talk, or how you're kind of like not being patient with yourself, not giving yourself loving energy. So it goes along with the energy that we're exuding out of us. But first we have to understand the energy that we're having in us and how we're using it to our benefit of our own love and to the benefit of the love that we want to receive from another. So does that make sense? And, you know, say something, you know, does it make sense? Do you get it? Will you take this away? It's very, very powerful. So the work that we're doing, and we're calling it work, I don't know, calling it awakening, we're calling it personal growth, we're calling it creating our epic love life, right? it all starts here with us, right? It's all our own energy. It's all who we are. It's all what we want. So the more we can be aware, the more we can embody, the more we can receive. So, and all right, so there's like there was something else I wanted to say about that. So you're going to take that away, broadcasting. You're going to practice it. And just even see if you can feel the energy that's being given to you. And then see how you can give more of an appreciation energy to somebody without even saying a word. Okay? Okay. All right. So I also said that I would talk a little bit about flirtation. I also said that I don't think it's all about tips and tricks, right? I take this work very seriously. I take it, but it's fun to have the fun, right? The love for ourselves, right? So there's flirtation involved. So this is just a couple little things, and we're going to talk about presence. Um, so presence being in our body, how we show up, receives presence from him, right? But seriously, um, so I here's how I'm going to preface this. I really think it's really cool how you showed up today, and you allow me to see who's here, and you said hello. If you haven't, say hello, and you're being here. So you're allowing yourself to be seen. You're seeing me. You're typing in here comments, and you're allowing. So it's kind of like allowing yourself to be heard. So this is presence too. So a woman doesn't always allow herself to be heard, or I'm sorry, to be seen. She wants to be seen by him. She really, really wants to be seen by him, but she kind of like, shuts down and doesn't show up, or doesn't fully engage, or walks into the room with her head down, those type of things. So, like I said, we'll talk more about that on Thursday, but the flirtation part that I want to bring into this right here is to practice eye contact. So yes, do you know that eye contact is flirtation, right? So I am not suggesting that you have to go out there and flirt with anybody tomorrow, but I would like you to do it this week, but make eye contact. So your eye contact isn't to flirt in a way that is meant to bring on sexual energy. It's meant to bring on sensual, feminine energy. It's meant to just say, hey, hi, and to hold that gaze, and to hold that gaze longer than, oh, he looked and then I looked away, but to hold the gaze. Because remember when I just said a moment ago that a lot of men don't even maybe know how to flirt or show up for you because they're getting mixed messages. And there's certainly a lot of this going on all the time, and it's not being present. So, sometimes take yourself out for that pleasurable dinner. Allow yourself to have the good wine. Allow yourself to sit and enjoy yourself. Be in that energy. And if by happenstance a nice man walks by, or he's over at the bar, or you're at a networking meeting, just give him a stare and then hold the gaze. So part of this isn't for anything else to happen other than you just practice it. You practice letting yourself be seen. So you can practice it with your guy friend. You can practice it with your girlfriend. But allow yourself to be seen, and allow the stare to, hold that, hold that, hold that. Because so many times we're always with our head down, we're always looking away. We want to be seen, but we're not exuding the energy of allowing ourselves to be seen. It takes a very confident woman, and so we're continuing to up-level ourselves. We want a man to see us. Okay. And so, also, if you're at a lunch meeting, if you're at the grocery store, practice a touch. Excuse me, maybe, you know, the guy in the produce department, you're not trying to pick him up, you're just practicing the touch. Because the touch is sensual, but it's also engaging. It's also being vulnerable. So we're practicing these type of feminine traits to use at the right time so that we can show interest, so that we can be open for the masculine to come into us and to swoop us up and to make a decision for us and take us to dinner. And we're kind of leaning back and showing him it's okay to do that. So that's flirtation. Just excuse me, just practice it. It's not meant for you to go any further than that. That's up to you. Okay, so I'm going to say more to you on another day, but those are just two little things because we need to kind of expand our comfort zone. When we keep doing what we always have done, we'll always get what we've always got. And so we are venturing out into the land of epic love. We are venturing out of the habit. You no longer want to be a habit of attracting the wrong man, the one that has no respect for you, the one who doesn't call you, who doesn't, you know, do what he says, who just disappears, or who talks down to you and doesn't honor you, hurts your feelings, or you no longer want to be left alone and feeling like there's no good men out there, right? There absolutely is. So the process through Awaken Love is allowing yourself step by step on this journey. So we've been talking about these feminine genius traits the last couple of days, how to embody more the energy of the feminine by allowing ourselves to receive, giving ourselves things that we desire to feel good, allowing ourselves to have it, allowing ourselves to be in our feminine, to be a woman that enjoys herself, so that when we attract the right man, he can enjoy us too, and we inspire him even more to want to be with us. So through the Awaken Love process, that's where we're coming through that journey of the feminine genius. But sometimes we can hit a roadblock. And it's deeper stuff, right? It's that it keeps happening. I keep reading the wrong man. I keep getting my heart broke. I keep doing this same thing. So those habits have to be broke. And those are oftentimes deep rooted. They're things, beliefs that may have come way, not even about you, but carried forward from what you've witnessed from family, from your parents. I mean, I could tell you stories, right? We could all probably tell some stories, and a lot of them aren't so good. But we often don't know that those stories, all those times we've been hurt, and we're so freaking tired of it. You're so tired of being alone and not understanding why you can't meet the right guy. It's probably more than just we're talking about right here. So those are the things through Awaken Love experience that you can go deeper on. And so if that sounds something that you might need a little bit more of, absolutely, I hear you. And so you can definitely book a private consult with me. We can talk more about that and go through that. It's kind of like a journey. It's your feminine genius roadmap, but it's going through all the places, the nooks and crannies of your past experience of the things that maybe keep happening over and over again and why, and then changing the future path for you to him. Okay, so, all right, so your homework today is to bring pleasure and joy into your week, to do it even with something that isn't always so pleasurable. So the whole point is, how can I allow myself to feel good? How can I allow myself to receive? I want to have fun in my life. I want to have fun with my man, but I haven't met him yet, so my life is pretty darn boring. Absolutely not. he's going to love you up more because you bring that energy to the table. It's easy to be inspired by a woman who is already enjoying her life. He can be part of it. He doesn't feel like, oh my God, her life sucks, I have to save her. But then it feels like, oh, that's so much work. Have some fun, buy something sexy, go to a nice dinner, hang out with your girlfriends, increase your oxytocin and decrease the cortisol and get out of the stress of doing it all yourself and all the masculine, because you do need that at the right time, but you need to practice how to change it over so that you attract him. Okay, and then you're going to pay attention to how you're broadcasting, how you're showing appreciation for another without words. You're definitely going to use the words at the right time for him. But you want to also understand maybe this, broadcasting when you're not even aware of it and what you're broadcasting to yourself. And just pay attention to that. So remember, it's all about awareness of who you are and digging deeper and deeper into knowing you. This is like strengthening your feminine. It's strengthening your genius. It's getting you closer and closer to exactly what you want. It's getting you closer and closer to your deepest desires so that you can have it. Okay? So, does anybody have any questions for any of that? I will continue to give you more information tomorrow. So hi, Ronnie, if I didn't say hi to you. Yeah, continue to go more and more into this as we go forward into the rest of the day. So tomorrow, what are we talking about tomorrow? Tomorrow, we're talking about, the warning signs of disconnection, of dysfunction, of desperation, of drama, of the repelling of love of the relationship, blocking it from happening, the recycling of the wrong things, the habits that keep us stuck out of love, feeling unloved. I'm going to talk about that. Sounds pretty serious, that it is, but when we shine a light on it, we can kind of have epiphanies and awareness, and we can change things up for ourselves, right? And then let's see, tomorrow's Wednesday. Okay, and Thursday, more about presence in the body. I'm going to give you how to get in the body and how to bring more presence into your everyday life. That's exuding your feminine. And then on Friday, we're talking a lot about the communication with the masculine and more about his traits that turns him on. We got the energy traits, but these are things that really how we can learn from him what he wants in a relationship as well. So it's about us, but it's about him. So we're spending the first part of this really about us, because you want to be your best self. You want your best relationship, and everything starts with us. Everything does. I promise you'll get there. Okay. I think that's all I have. And if I miss something, I'm going to share it with you tomorrow. So be in flow, be in your feminine, be in your inner body, love yourself up, and be what you want to attract into your life. It's very magnetizing. Okay. All right, my dear. And if you see this, type in replay if you come on later. Ask questions if you think of it. I'll come back and check. If you didn't see yesterday's, it'll be here in the group till the end of the day. And then same with this one for tomorrow. Okay, off I go. See you tomorrow.